Hi everyone, Senator Jason Rarick here at the Capitol, and today I want to talk to you about a piece that the Senate Republicans were really focusing on as we enter this legislative session, and that's affordability for Minnesotans. And there are a lot of ways that we could make life more affordable here in Minnesota, but there are three that I really want to touch on that we're beginning our conversations about. First one is around property taxes. We all see the increasing property taxes, and so we do have a provision out there that would cap property taxes. But honestly, the real solution to our property tax woes is the state getting out of the way of our counties, our cities, and our schools. That's how we're going to cap our property taxes, letting those entities make the decisions on what they're going to do. All of these state mandates telling these groups what they have to provide without the funding to follow it, that's what's driving your property taxes. But so this is a piece that would say, we're going to cap the local property taxes, but a vote would allow them to go higher so that you can deal with what the state is mandating if that is what's happening. Another one that I think is a critical one is following President Trump's plan of the no tax on tips and overtime. And I want to focus on the overtime one. That is one that we're hearing from so many employers, right? They can't get people, they're short workers, people don't work as many hours anymore. What a great way to incentivize folks to work those extra hours to meet the requirements that these employers are having with their contracts, with their customers. If you can work that overtime without paying income tax on it, what an incentive. You're now receiving more. It's going to help you get out of debt. It's going to help our employers meet the hours that they need to have worked. I think that is a great provision to help families and employers at the same time. But then the big one that really stands out to me, that I think many of you will agree with, is car tab costs in Minnesota. I can't tell you how many people have been reaching out to me lamenting over the idea of they bought a new car or a car that's 2 years old, and they just cannot believe the cost of their car tabs. And I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but we'll have a link to look at it. Minnesota is such an outlier, even right here. Iowa is the only state that's even remotely close. I believe it was something like 800% higher in Minnesota than in South Dakota. And we go back not too far in our past, right? Remember, that was one of Jesse Ventura's big things when he was governor, making our car tabs more affordable. And look how far we have come since then. And the Democrats just can't help themselves. In 23 and 24, they made provisions that raise them even more to this level that's not even comparable to our surrounding states. And that is a big part of, we all need our vehicles to get around. But yet, not only are we paying these high tab fees, they're also putting provisions in around this carbon neutral stance on building roads, which is making our roads cost way more to construct and repair. We're paying more for our car tabs, for our gas tax, and yet we're not getting the improved roads to show for it. It's just not sustainable. And so let's reel this back in. Let's get back to common sense that does make life more affordable for Minnesotans.